Welcome to the Ghost Hacks Podcast. What you are about to hear may make you laugh, it may make you cry, it may make you shake in your boots. Two prison guards talking about strange things in the night they may never understand. And here are your hosts, Tom and Joe.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 13 of the Ghost Hacks Podcast.
13, bro.
I'm Ghost Joe.
I'm Tom.
And hey, man, we have quite a show for you tonight. It's an interview with our old supervisor, Michael Blaine, who worked in New York State Department of Corrections, and who's an author of The Invisible Walls of Dannemora, all about his experience as being a correction officer and through his ranks and everything up to lieutenant, about his dealings in the prison system. So yeah, and also about he's also a master hypnotist as well, and we have some pretty he had some pretty cool stories to tell us. So you'll definitely enjoy this interview.
Joe, just before we jump into the interview, I wanted to touch on something. I don't want to come off too serious and whatnot, but we're enjoying doing interviews with everybody, and we're really meeting a great group of people in our social media contacts. I do want to touch upon, we recently had an incident where we interviewed somebody, and we decided against using their interview. The reason why we decided against them using them appearing on our show, against using the interview, is because we caught that person in a number of lies before and after the interview. And we said it in episode 1. We love to have people on, but you're not going to sell your book on our back if we don't believe in you, or we don't believe that you believe in you. And this is Ghost Joe's baby. Joe, you thought this whole thing up. You were kind enough to bring me on board, and I'm not going to let somebody shit all over your dream here, your vision,
Sure.
And the gentleman that we interviewed, other than the lying, it appeared like he was trying to establish credibility on our podcast to say that he had done an interview with us. And
I guess people know by now, if you listen to our shows, I'm more of the believer, whereas Tom is a believer, but he's more of on the skeptic side. But I try to give everybody and everything the benefit of the doubt, but this one I just in good conscience I couldn't put it through because there was just way too many inconsistencies. I could overlook a few things and oh well, maybe this and that, but not as much as what this interview contained. And I wouldn't want to put that across to you guys, which is why we decided against it.
So, not to set a dark tone and bring the energy down though, but we are going into a great interview right now for episode 13 with Mike Blaine. Please stick around and enjoy it. Check us out on Instagram, Ghost Hacks Podcast on Instagram. Check us out on the web, ghosthackspodcast.com. You can call us on our voicemail, which we love getting voicemails. It's Ghost Hacks Podcast voicemails, 845-379-1331.
Yeah, or you could email me at joeghosthackspodcast@gmail.com. We also just put up we have a Facebook groups page, as well as a Facebook page as well for the Ghost Hacks podcast. So you can search that and give us a follow on that and a like, and definitely please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or
that little purple icon.
The Apple Podcast, leave us a review there. You could also get to that Apple Podcast review through our website as well. Our website has a blog, information on all of our guests, and our merch store as well. So check all that out. That would be great.
All right. Enjoy the interview.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Sure.
So with us today, we have retired New York State Corrections Lieutenant, author of The Invisible Walls of Dannemora, Master Hypnotist, and our old supervisor and friend, Mr. Michael Blaine.
Yay!
That's quite an introduction. Thanks, guys.
Oh, there you go.
Welcome, Mike, you skunk fucker. we don't get to say that to many people we interview.
It's been a long time. Yeah, but here's the thing. You live further north than I do, you redneck.
Yeah.
How's the fucking weather treating you down in Florida?
Life is good. Life is good. I think I got a little too much sun today.
Yeah. We just got some snow today again, man.
Yeah.
Snow isn't stopping this year.
Well, guess what? I didn't.
Yeah, I know.
I think we're getting rain tomorrow, so that's really going to shit on my day.
Yeah. All the redneck jokes I used to make about you, I am living them all now up here in Dutchess County.
And I see it all on Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, I can't believe you wear Carhartt clothing and drive a John Deere and
John Deere's are pretty cool, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, so you're missing out? Take it all back. Take it all back now.
Yeah, I listen. I've said it 100 times. All the years I'm a city boy. I'll never leave the city. And I was fighting moving up here. What the hell was I thinking and doing? I mean, I love it up here. And Joe doesn't live that far from me. He's
drive that John Deere down here, man. I need snow. I don't have a snowblower yet. I'm fucked down here. Wait, did you see, Mike? Did you see the skunk fiasco that he had going on a few months back?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was amused. I enjoyed watching that.
But the thing, you know what? The thing is, I still set those traps trying to get fox and raccoon off the property, and that damn skunk goes in that trap every night. Every night. I'm like, you know what? You're just here looking for the meal at this point.
That's okay.
And in the morning, I open up the trap, and he just walks out at this point. Like, see you tonight, Tom.
Yeah. Thanks for the meal.
Thanks for the meal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
So, well, it's nice to see you guys up and about, and congratulations on your podcast success.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. It was the success part of it. Well, it was Joe's baby. I always say that he was the brainchild behind it. The success part, though, that's kicking us both in the pants. We don't believe it still.
Like we have listeners from all around the world. Like we have somebody from Japan that listened to us. Like, what the hell are we saying that somebody from Japan wants to hear?
Well, I'll let you in a little secret because I didn't realize this. A buddy of mine used to live over there, and he says, everybody learns English, and so,
really,
take it for granted. So you're reaching to a much broader audience than you ever realized, especially the internet.
Yeah.
So you never know who you're reaching out to, who you're hitting.
Yeah, well, the international hits started really multiplying when our Instagram took off.
True.
The Instagram just shot up about the time that we were comparing our Instagram pages, Mike. That's when it just took off, and that's when we started getting international downloads on the podcast.
And I never
Crazy.
did Instagram. Everybody's doing it. I didn't see the point in it. I really didn't. And until you sent me a message, hey man, this is what you're doing wrong. And I really wasn't interested in Instagram, but now I'm seeing how much it's used, how much I'm picking up on it. It's kudos to you, because I wouldn't have gone down that road. I just had the tool. I just decided not to use it.
You know, in my opinion, it's Instagram is social media and branching out and meeting new people and whatnot without the politics. Because you're taking a picture, and this is a picture, whether it's a good picture or a bad picture, this is how I see. This is me seeing. And if you agree with it, you like the picture, you like the hashtags, you like what my account is about, that's when you like it. You're not going to start talking about the president and COVID and this and that on there, on just my picture of, a flower and a high five,
Yeah. And well, the reason I was starting to do a little bit more is, and unfortunately it gets into the political world right now, with the world as it is, anything to do with law enforcement books are not getting promoted. And our forces that are trying to keep it down. And I've had to deal with some of those forces. I mean,
really?
Oh yeah. My publisher gave me a heads up when COVID was coming to be. He was, because he's an independent publisher, and the big names weren't even interested in looking at my stuff. Nobody wanted to look at anything.
Right.
So I thought it was kind of unusual. Of course, we live in a kind of we got things going on. We're not privy to what's developing in the shadows. And so I met this guy, and he was very interested in my book. He's based in Las Vegas. I was going out there on a trip. And I said, I'm going to be out there next number of weeks. Would you like to get together? He goes, I've got my team. I asked them, I said, this guy's coming out here. I'd like to have an answer for him either before he gets here or while he's here. So I need you to drop what you're doing, review his stuff, take a look at it. I'd like to have a legitimate answer to this guy. And I went to Vegas, and because before I left, he said, I still don't have an answer. I go, it's fine. Even if we sit and meet, I go, you've been so decent in communicate. The communication's been incredible. You've been so decent. It'd be great just to have dinner together.
Yeah, sure.
And sat down, and this guy was fantastic. So decent. Very, very intelligent man. It's kind of, you sit in the cross table from a publisher who wants to make a deal, possibly make a deal regarding your material. He goes, and he came, and he goes, I'm going to tell you right now, I still don't have an answer. He goes, I am pushing these people. I go, the guy's in town. I'd like to have an answer for him. So he goes, I can't even guarantee I'm going to have an answer for you when you leave day after tomorrow. I said, that's fine. We've met, we've discussed things. We've got communication. Felt each other out. We're good. The next afternoon, I got the message. I got the email. We'd like to offer you a contract. So, boom. And so when COVID was developing, the book was just getting to be released. And the distribution company was a little less than, they're supposed to do, a lot of work and getting like interviews and things done. I could tell they're of a differing political opinion. And I said, this is not, I had a bad feeling it wasn't going to go good. So then the publisher was telling me he'd have teleconferences with other publishers and what have you. And the first one in the middle of the beginning of COVID, right in the beginning, they were telling each other it would be immoral for us to try and sell books right now. And you look at this, I don't know about you guys, but I got a business to run. So we're going to be full speed ahead. And then the next,
immoral? Why? Because it's a book about prison, or immoral just any book?
They're talking about any. They're saying any, selling books. Well, in my opinion, it wasn't the fact they're selling books. I think they want everybody to be in front of that TV, being bombarded with a narrative 24/7. It felt
like that. It felt like that in the beginning, didn't it?
Hindsight is 20/20. You look at the big picture now for the past year. Lock them in, watching this repetition, let it sink in, let it become second nature, and
yeah.
So, and then the next meeting he had, he disclosed to me. He goes, "They're trying to push up on people, on each other. Don't print any books by law enforcement. Don't do it. Don't do it." He says, "No." He goes, "They predicted by end of the year, I think it was like 60% of all independent publishers would be out of business." He goes, "We won't be one of them." And
nice.
I told him, "We're glad to keep you afloat. We're doing that good. Keep you afloat."
Definitely nice.
So, but that's some of the battles. And so some of the outlets, the book outlets, I have seen reviews disappear.
Wow.
Disappear.
Really?
I saw my book, because when it first came out, I was checking morning, noon, and night, the rankings.
Sure. As you would do. Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that's nice. I'm good. Morning, there it is. Noon, my book could not be found on that site."
Welcome to the real world.
I go, "Hey, man," I go, "It's got," he goes, you could hear him typing. He goes, "I just did a search. It says it's there." I go, "Okay, click on it." Took him to the site. It's not there. He goes, "You're right. I'll take care of this." Got a hold of the distribution company. They have a number they call with this big conglomerate, and back up within an hour. But there's some other things. So you're facing uphill battle.
Yeah.
So probably the worst time in history to ever release a book, but it's out there. It's been done. And you guys know me well enough. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, it's doing well. Yes.
It appears to be.
Okay.
The numbers come in. I think it's next month or April. I'm not sure. The accounting comes in, and they're. I mean, for what the world's been through, they're happy.
Okay.
I guess since
we haven't been able to travel and do presentations, so we're doing virtually.
I guess since we're talking about the book, why don't you tell us about the book and where you can find it and everything?
Well, you can get it through you can go through right through the publisher, historyofbooks.com.
And the full name of the book is?
I'm sorry?
The full name of the book is?
The Invisible Walls of Dannemora, Inside the Infamous Clinton Correctional Facility.
Cool.
And you can get it through all the books online. You get through History of Books itself, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, all of them. They're all out there. If people go to my website, michaelblaine.com, click on the links, they'll take them right to it. But the book is just my career through my eyes. I always wondered how make the experience pay off, because every officer has a story. Everybody in this world has a story.
Right.
And especially the New York State prison system, there's some guys that just go through the motions every day. They're just there. They come, they go, they're going through the motions. Other people, like a place like Clinton, there's a lot of history there. You're talking a place that was started in 1864.
Yeah.
You had, the history is just absolutely mind-blowing. If you guys have seen the church that was built on the prison grounds, correct?
Sure. Yeah.
The Church of St. Dismas, the Good Thief.
Mm-hmm.
That structure, you can't put a price tag on that structure. The church was, I think it started in 1939. And truth be told, it was basically built with mob donations. Lucky Luciano, who was a con at Clinton, he donated the Appalachian oak for the pews. And
no kidding.
And there is a book called The Gates of Dannemora. And that book is about the church. I mean, it's very difficult to find a reasonably priced copy of that book. It's ancient. It was a really old book. When I see a copy at a reasonable price, I snag it and I give it out as gifts.
Oh, cool.
But there's a lot of history. That church, there's a YouTube video. Do you guys do links in your podcast and the narratives at the Blow? I'll send you the link to the YouTube video.
Sure.
It's about 9 minutes long. It's a documentary on the church. There are 2 hand-carved planks from Magellan's ship in the 1500s.
Wow.
Behind the altar.
No
they
kidding.
were donated by his descendants.
Huh.
And so they were donated and they're in the church. This is all documented. Even the stained glass was done by a forger. And, and the documentary is fantastic, but when you work there and you appreciate history, it's all around you. Like Luciano was here. There were some mob guys and hitmen and stuff like that, and they were good convicts, good inmates, never a problem. And the old school respect. There was a book called Blood Relation about Harold Konigsberg. He was the number one Shylock in the country back in the early 70s. He finally got released. He was about 85, came to Florida and died. His nephew wrote a book about him, and he was a difficult individual. And,
so, I know why, and anybody that's a correction officer that's listening to this podcast knows why. But for the people that aren't, that are listening to this, why the hell would you become a correction officer? What would make you be like, you know what, I want to be a correction officer?
Well, I want to go to jail.
Well, we can turn it around. Okay, of the 3 of us, did any of us grow up not want to be a cop or a fireman? Well, you, Joe.
Yeah, no, I never really. Yeah, that wasn't really. No, I wanted to be. I wanted to be a rock star.
Okay. Well, we have to have something to listen to when we're on patrol. So, I know Tom, your background. So we all have we in your father. So I know your history, a little bit of your history. So you grow up, you want to be a cop or fireman, stuff like that. I grew up on a dairy farm. I wanted to go in the military. My old man blew a gasket when he found out. He didn't need me on the farm. But then life goes on, and I found good job after good job. And I had taken a civil service exam when I was 18 just for the hell of taking it, just to see how I do. And I got a decent score. They had hiring freezes. Never thought I had a chance in the world. But I kept getting older and older and older. The freeze comes off, boom. And I would turn 21 in the academy during my 3rd week.
Wow, that's crazy.
Which means I'm qualifying with the AR-15 with a hangover.
So how many years did you do it?
Just over 26 years.
26 years.
Yep. I saw a lot of change. I saw Clinton change. It was not the facility. And if you read a book, I talk about the changes you observe and how society changed. Society, as we all know, the inside is a reflection of the outside.
Sure.
Sure. If a con was a drug dealer in the street, he'd be a drug dealer in prison. Rapist, thief, whatever. Right. Extortionist.
Yeah. So
that you do what you know.
How I know you've bounced around probably like a lot of us have, but how many years in total were you at Clinton, Dave?
Oh gosh. I did probably about 20 of it, close to 20.
So I hope this isn't a sore subject, right? But let me set it up like this, right? So in 2015, Richard Matt and David Sweat escaped from Clinton with the help of civilian employee Joyce Mitchell. Were you working there at the time? And what can you tell us about the incident?
No. I retired 10 and a half months prior. And I woke up that morning to a list of text messages a mile long detailing how this went down. And I'm reading, I'm like, yeah, right. Because a buddy of mine that sent me that information, no way, impossible, baloney, bull, this, that. So I went on the news. I pulled up the websites for all the news stations in the Plattsburgh area. Nothing. I go, it's all bullshit. I go, then went on Facebook. It's blowing up. Facebook blowing up. I go, this is not in the media, but this is all over Facebook. This happened. Holy cow. I guess I was more right about that place than I realized. Because, and there's officers, well, a lot of them have been promoted since, that I used to tell them, because I'd get very upset because the Clinton was two distinct facilities. You had the main behind the wall, and you had the annex down the street, just outside the wall, which they're closing down this month, which makes no sense whatsoever. So, Andrew Cuomo, if you're listening, that's one of the least fiscally decisions you've ever made. You really reinforce the fact of what an a-hole you are.
But keep listening.
Just, and I take no pleasure in this. And there's people that you could contact, and they'll tell you, I told them after the escape, Clinton will be closed in 10 years. There's people that would say, yeah, I could give you the numbers right now. They'd say, yes, Mike said that. We thought he was crazy. But now one third of the joint is shut down. The annex, because half, there's typical count there's about 826. So you shut down a third of Clinton. And makes no sense, because that annex is used to support the main. The same powerhouse. You have one powerhouse for basically two facilities. You have one personnel department. Yes, you have a clinic, but you have, medical and all that stuff. But you have a lot of stuff comes out of the annex to support the main. So this makes no sense. It makes no sense. This is totally vindictive and I'm so happy that the public is seeing true colors, that little dictator.
Yeah.
They say better late than never, but I never wanted to see another Cuomo's governor. We survived his father. I didn't want to deal with this guy.
It really grinded my gears when last year everybody was saying, oh, but he's doing so great with COVID and he should run for president. I said, no, you don't know this guy. I said, he's an asshole. I said, and it'll come out. And sure enough, now it's blowing up now.
There's a lot of rumors around Albany. I got to say the rumors. I don't know, because I can't say I didn't see it. That's a good looking book you've got in your hand. So, that's a special copy for you. If you open up, be careful. It doesn't hit you in the nose. So, but the escape demonstrated when the photos of him walking, going through the crime scene. In the book, I talk about a law enforcement member. My source told me of considerable rank tried to advise him not to go in the crime scene. That individual was not seen after that day, and it was rumored that they retired on Monday.
Yeah, I was watching it on the news, and I'm like, how is this guy walking through a crime scene, glad-handing convicts, trying to talk to them? What did you know? And every one of them, you're watching them on the news, every one of them telling, fuck you, I didn't know shit. Get the fuck out of here. Give me a pardon.
Well, and it's A block, the honor block. Some of our heaviest hitters are there. Long-term, you had some long-term guys. Everybody's against honor block. Now, and that comes like honor block. Yeah. Well, you know what? Honor block's a very useful tool.
Absolutely.
There were some very long-term lifers in there. They didn't want any problems. They appreciate the little bit of perks they got. but you don't trust them, but it was a very useful tool. And everything gets portrayed properly, misinformation. So public opinion. So they eliminate our honor block. I guess all honor blocks are gone now.
Yes.
So that very useful tool is not in the bucket anymore. It's out of our toolbox. So,
have you ever seen or experienced anything paranormal or supernatural or anything that you can't explain in any of the facilities that you worked in?
Clinton, because Clinton's an old place. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff, but the hallways, like I have a chapter called OBS1. That was an observation cell area. When the wind would whip through the special housing unit and into that corner of my unit, it really would make the most, especially in the winter, the most incredible ooh sound. And being an observation unit, I either have out of their mind crazy, or guys are, they got medicated up and they're getting them right back to population, or ultra assaultive. So you take a dark, cold winter night with that woo sound.
Okay.
It makes you, it's just incredible. It's incredible. It can't be replicated. But there was a lieutenant that absolutely hated working midnights in the annex. There was and I know I'm going to get the story wrong. I haven't had time to get to pull it up to get it in order for you guys. There was an individual that was killed. I don't recall if they were a warden or principal keeper. I forget what title it was. A business officer. I don't know what it was. Got killed by an inmate. And that lieutenant swore that ghost was there. He goes, things happen at midnights. I'm telling you. He goes, I hate this place at midnights. And he had a lot of time in the job. He must have had, oh God, he started real young. And so he, well over 30 years, 35 or more years. And he just hated working midnights. He disclosed that to me before. But remember, that was the former Dannemora State Hospital of criminally insane.
Yeah, the annex.
There was a bowling alley downstairs, old bowling alley. But think about what was going on in that place, late 1800s, or turn of the century. I forget when they built it. It was right at the turn of the century. But think about what was going on there. Now, I had an uncle that worked there in the 70s. And I'm going to give a term that you've never heard, and you're going to find off the hook. The staff used to distribute the medication. It was the glug system. Have you ever heard of the glug system?
No, I haven't.
Depending how the inmate was behaving, depends how many glugs of medication he got. Glug, 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 glug.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Swear to you, true story. The glug system.
Now that's the 70s.
Well, yeah. So,
and can you imagine how it was in the early 1900s? How archaic
there. I mean, off the hook.
The treatment of the patients were there.
Oh, just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So I'm going to ask you a few scenario questions here, and see what your thoughts on some of these questions here. All right, Mike.
If my response starts with "at no time," the corrections.
No. Well, we'll see. Hold on here. All right. So, you lived upstate New York for a very, very long time. So have you ever encountered Bigfoot? Did you ever see Bigfoot?
I wear 16. I see Bigfoot every day.
Oh.
No, no. I've never seen anything like that. But this is off track. But there's energy all around us. I mean, We've all had experiences, gut feelings, I've cut trips short, and I had a bad feeling about something, and boom, next day it happened. So I've had some very unusual occurrences, but not like that. No.
So if Bigfoot showed up as a CO, and Bigfoot has been known to have like this very, very horrible stench, right? If he showed up to roll call and like you walk in, you're like, what the fuck? What would you address Bigfoot about the what would you say to him? Like what?
Well,
I mean, he's like 7 feet tall now. He's a big guy.
Sounds like a couple of guys I've known. And Clinton had an officer that transferred in. He had long hair, big long beard, completely way out. This is probably early 90s. Probably maybe 92, 93, maybe. I don't think it was even 93. 91, maybe. The lieutenant back then. Don't come back tomorrow unless you're cleaned up. That's it. The guy went and got a haircut and cleaned up, complete compliance. I swear to you, it seemed like within a couple months, every hair on his body just fell off. Everything. Just
you scared the hair right off him.
Everybody's like, what the heck? Went to his doctor. Doctor says nothing wrong. Just can't figure it out. Every hair in that man disappeared. And Sasquatch was there.
If a UFO landed in the Clinton rec yard and an alien came out and said, "Can you point me in the direction of intelligent life?" Where would you point them? Where would you tell them?
Go no further. I got you covered.
I'm right here,
what do you want
Pally.
to know? By the way, you're in the North Yard. Do you have any clue how many rifles are pointing at you right now?
You know what, Joe? Yeah. Just a side note. Yeah. I watched a training video when I was doing training in Albany. Mm-hmm. I forget what school I was at, but a training video of the Clinton rec yard when they dropped gas. I've never seen so many COs in my life. It's like, what do you make them, an industry up there? The COs just kept coming and coming. And I'm looking at, there's more COs in that video right now than there are on my charts on 3 to 11.
Big joint.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Big response teams, and everybody's got a job. Everybody's got a job. Sure. And when something happens, I talk in the book, Clinton's got 2 modes. Clinton was a very laid back. It was a big clunking machine. It just ran every day. Like most Maxes, big old Maxes, big, outside of, I don't know, not being director, but north of the city, out of the city. Because the city always seemed to have less experience, you used to get a lot of the newer guys. Used to. Mm-hmm. Now, but the old Maxes are just clunking machines. Everybody does their part, running. And but in Clinton, the same words, like I say, in a block, the officer gets on the mic, says porters on the cells. The inmates will wrap up what they're doing and make mosey to their way towards their company. Or you guys probably call galleries, we call them companies. Makes way to the company and, to their cell. Now, the same officer says the same words, porters on the cells, no! Pew! It's find a hole. Don't make me say it twice. There's 2 modes. So the mode where I guarantee that when they did what we called level 1, level 2, when they called a level in that yard, those blocks are locking stuff down post haste, sealing up their blocks, and everybody that's the response team is dragging butt.
Well, when I first started and I was in Sing Sing, it was probably maybe my second day there, and I had my radio in the radio holster. I was still, I think I must have had like 4 months on the job altogether because I had started at Fishkill, then I went over to Sing Sing. Everybody thought I was nuts that I wanted to go to Sing Sing, but it was closer to home, so I didn't care. That's just what you do, So I remember that I looked over and I'm like, oh crap, my radio is upside down because somehow it got upside down and the pin fell out of the radio.
Oh, an old worn out radio.
When I tell you though, I never felt so good that like within seconds, there must have been like 50 officers running to help. I said, okay. I said, you know what? I said that just shows how great, everybody really looks out for you,
Yeah.
It's that really made me feel like a lot better about the job at that point,
anything could pop off anything. Now, I had just retired, and I went to a fraternal group event, and the guy I've been hanging out with was from West Virginia or Ohio, maybe Ohio, and he was an infantryman. He saw a lot of combat, a lot intense stuff, and he was just a good dude. We hit it off, and we're talking about different things. So we're in this area where everybody's gathering, and this one guy was very calm and cool, collected, just jumped out at me. Something's different about this guy. I'm just watching, and they're talking, and turns out, I guess he worked for an agency, a government agency, a very discreet agency. I thought he was full of crap. So I'm sitting there, I'm just listening. And I'm watching. And turns to me and goes, you look like you have something to say. Very polite, I said, well, not many people come out and say they work for an agency such as yours. I go, but I'm sitting, listening to you guys comparing, your action stories, and I'm pretty well convinced you're who you claim. I go, well, what do you do? I'm retired lieutenant, this and that. And I told him, he goes, oh my God. I go, well, it's apples and oranges. You guys, he goes, no, it's not. He goes, you guys don't realize it. He goes, we never went on an operation without all this intelligence. When we go into an operation, we know everything, where everything's supposed to be, the latest intelligence, everything. And the odds are always in our favor. He goes, you walk through the gate, you don't know what you're facing. All this stuff's popping off. You got to respond off the cuff. He goes, there's no pre-planning. Yes, you have your procedures, but you never know. He goes, that's amazing to me. And I never realized it. When you have somebody like that from that level, put in such manner you can understand it and grasp it, and digest it. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
So yes, people responding to incidents, and people have no clue. People think it's the Green Mile where we're sitting at a desk and barking orders, or the Shawshank Redemption. Yeah. We're all sitting at a desk and barking orders, and everybody just sits in cells. It's just the opposite. It's a whole city, a self-supporting city, for the most part.
I've always said it. This is a city. It's a small city. It's called Felonyville.
And that's the first time I heard that one. But
so to get off the subject of corrections, you have also been a master hypnotist, but a stage hypnotist for a very long time as well. What made you want to pursue that?
I always had the interest since I was a kid. Every comic book had the ad, learn how to hypnotize. Never sent away for it. Got involved with it later on. It was the easiest thing I ever learned in my life. Everybody's got their niche in life. I found mine. And the right people at the right time saw me perform or heard of me, or I gave a, stellar performance at a corporate event, and that one would lead off to this one and that one. Word spread like wildfire. Well, my husband said that you gave a great show at their corporate event. We'd like you for hours. and you're going to get a call from this person. I go, oh, great. I made my clients very happy. There are fairs in the country. I performed at for 20 years. And they're actually, when I had my hip replaced, and it makes it difficult being on concrete for a long period of time, especially fairgrounds. My forte was fairs and festivals. I traveled the country, did very, very well. I had the right demeanor for the audiences. We related well. It was all fantastic. My clients were very, very happy. And so when I told them I couldn't come back, they were floored, absolutely floored. And
now, can you explain to people what hypnosis is and what it isn't? You know, people think of hypnosis, they think automatically it's like mind control.
Sure.
You know.
Well, that's right. And there's a lot of misconceptions. All hypnosis is an altered state of consciousness. In a nutshell, the mind's focused like a laser beam, and the body's more relaxed than natural sleep. And the state, we can appeal to the subconscious mind, which will either act upon a suggestion, hypnotic suggestion, or reject it. And you can't make anybody do anything they wouldn't normally do. At the subconscious mind has basically circuit breakers. And if you give it any suggestion it deems dangerous or immoral or improper, that switch will flip right off, and the person will just like, no, I'm not doing that. And and on stage shows, you start with very basic suggestions. It's pyramiding. You start very basic, and you work with very advanced suggestions, and you're going to lose people along the way, and that's normal. People like I say, you're a ballerina, and all of a sudden you get people start. You can tell that the subconscious mind is going. It's not saying, it's not allowing them to say, you don't do this. You don't want to do this. Now, also, I see them kind of confused and looking around. I lost them. I crossed their thresholds. I send them back off the audience, and I keep working with who I've got. But it's not unusual to lose people like that. So, but it's not mind control. It's not voodoo. It's a natural state. And to prove it, daydreaming is the lightest form of hypnosis. And so but with hypnosis, it's a much deeper. The subconscious mind is always going around. Like right now, I'll give you both an example. Right now, and anybody watching your podcast, they're aware that this exists, but they don't realize it until I say, you can feel the floor beneath your feet right now. Now, you always could, but your mind was taking that information and deleting it. It wasn't important, but I just redirected your focus to it. All of a sudden it's there. You realize, yes, I can. So that's an example. So we take that lighthouse that's always going around, pick up information. We bring it down to a floodlight, to a flashlight, down to a laser beam. And that's how we work to the subconscious mind and embed suggestion.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was a prison guard.
Hey, hypnosis for dummies. Work for me.
Incredible. I never thought of it like that. All the time I've known you, I never thought of it like that. Flashlight, floodlight to a flashlight.
Well, what I used to do is I used to have more fun going up to supervisors and weirding them out. And there was a couple in particular that I'd say, you can feel it right now. That little bit of sweat between your toes, that greasy film between your toes. Some find it very uncomfortable. I personally don't mind it, but and one guy, like stop it! I'll be thinking about that all damn day. I go, and then some. So, and the last time every time I saw this person, even after they retired and I retired, so this has been years. Like, I'd be in the mess hall, I'd be talking about my toes and this and that. Oh yeah. Yeah, but there's ways of embedding things and messing with people, having fun. It's a good time. It's a good time. It's in jail. You got a lot of time on your hands. Have some fun.
That's for sure.
So if you were hypnotizing someone and they started speaking in tongues and in an unnatural demonic voice, like you brought something out of them, How would you approach something like that?
Okay. One, I have a lot of videos on YouTube of people thinking they talk Chinese. They think and they think their shoe is their telephone. And but I,
you know what? Not to interrupt you, Mike. Why don't you? What's your YouTube channel
Michael
so our listeners can? Michael Blaine on YouTube.
And,
okay, so they can go and see your
yeah,
videos. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Videos there. But for a very short period of time, because I quickly learned I do not like doing hypnotherapy. I just don't like it. It's just boring. Oh my God. The forensic aspect, I do enjoy it because it's so interesting, but it's so draining to take somebody back in time for crime, which is my next project. We'll probably talk about that a little bit. But I had one client one time that was just a bizarre individual and split personality. And the split personality came out. Didn't want to let me talk to the other individual because the other individual, the split personality, they were stupid and this and that. And it was just the most bizarre thing. And that's when the session's over. It's like, you need to go somebody beyond me. And that wasn't why I don't do hypnotherapy. I just never enjoyed it. I just don't enjoy it. And I love the stage. I truly did, but you get burned out. After all those years, you get burned out. I mean, especially when you have two simultaneous careers.
Right.
I mean, I could show you my date books and you guys would say, when did you ever sleep? You know, you perform for a couple of days or a week in Pennsylvania, wrap up the show, the last show, pack up, drive all night to get back home in time for a shower, shave, clean uniform, cup of coffee, and go do a double with no sleep. And I'm going to be starting another project, another book. It's going to be about the cases I've worked on with forensic hypnosis. It's intense stuff. So I'm trying all the FOIA requests for the cases I've worked on. Denied. Are you out of your minds? I never charged a penny for any of this stuff. You know, but I have the DVDs of the last case I worked on. I kept those. And 3 sessions in a county jail. And
well, that was my next question, Mike. Is there another book in the works? You've just answered that.
You're kind of nervous to start it because as we talk about it, it's so intense. It's so intense when you're taking somebody back in time. Now, I've worked with a victim. I worked with 2 witnesses. So the victim was on one case. And the law enforcement agency didn't even believe that the incident had actually happened. When I had the guy sitting in the room bawling. This was a big Grizzly Adams type guy. Bawling is how emotional the event was to him. He had put up a good front, but the truth is coming out. I'm talking a river.
Right.
They go, we didn't think this happened. I go, you convinced now? Oh yeah. So that was a victim. 2 witnesses, a husband and wife, had driven by a scene of a crime, a murder, at different times before the murder happened. They saw the victim talking with a guy. They both saw him at the same time, but they drove at different times, same spot. I took them back in time to get a description of the person he was speaking with, the description of the car and the license plate. They got enough. They tracked the plate. They matched enough of that plate to that car, the owner. Cold case crime, murder solved.
Wow.
They tracked it down.
Wow, that's incredible.
They gave them the lead they needed. They had nothing. And what thanks does Mike Blaine get? FOIA request denied.
No. FOIA request denied.
When one of the people involved in the case came up to me. Now, this is years and years. Like, do you remember me? I said, sorry, sir. I remember, I meet a lot of people. I remember some, but not others. But, oh my God, this was a pile of years ago. You helped us with the case. Remember that? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did you ever hear how that happened? I heard rumors, but I never heard definitely how it resulted. He goes, we solved that because of you.
Wow.
You got us the information, and we worked it and worked and worked it. We got it because of you.
I actually have 5. They're very short. I have 5 sound clips, right, of haunted, like different things from haunted prisons.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, so I figured we could listen to them, and you could tell me what you think of them. It's very short. So
now, do you have the location where these were recorded?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. So can we talk about that after we listen to them? You can identify each one.
Yeah, actually.
That's super cool.
Well, the first one is from the Tower of London, which was King Henry and Queen Anne's castle at one point, and then after they had moved out and everything, they turned it into a prison, and it was a very violent, very bad facility. So this is the first clip right here, and it's actually I'll tell you, it's of Queen Anne, and they had said that if you play music, you get more activity. So tell me if you could hear this.
The voice?
So what they're saying is that the singing is actually Queen Anne. Like that's actually the spirit, apparently. That
sounded almost part of the recording.
This is what I'm getting at, man. This is what they said. Yeah, we're gonna listen to it one more time. Okay. So that was the first one. What do you think of that one, Mike?
Well, okay. What was her time frame? Her years?
Now you're asking a lot of questions here, man. I don't know.
Because we kind of got to go back and say, okay, her life span this was her lifeline.
Right.
Would singing be normal for that person in that lifeline, that timeline?
Right.
So, especially royalty. So that
she was in the early 1700s, I believe.
So would a queen be singing in that? Because there's something greater. Especially, I'm going to get off track with this, guys, but when you do past life regression, which is fantastic stuff, and there are books written about this, and the people I've done past life regression with have had the same exact experiences outlined in these books. So there's something to it. So there's something greater than what we are now.
Sure.
I have a hard time when people say they're atheists and this and that, and it's all science. Well, you believe this is it?
Right.
This is it. There's something greater. But so what's your opinion, Joe? Did people in the 1700s sing like that?
I don't know.
We can play Name That Tune.
But, well, I only know 80s stuff. So 1980. 1980 stuff, not 1780 stuff.
80s was the best stuff. 80s is the best stuff.
So
I didn't hear any Whitesnake there, though.
So the second clip is from a place that we all know, Alcatraz.
Oh, okay. I've been there a couple times.
And this one is a group that was there investigating. Asks the spirit. I guess they must have had some some communication or something with the spirit there, and they're asking the spirit to keep communicating with them. And the spirit responds back.
Come on, keep talking to us.
So, all right. So let me do this one again here. So basically, it's saying when they asked, "Oh, keep talking to us," it says, "I can't, no energy." So if you could hear,
Keep talking to us.
I didn't hear that. I did hear.
I mean, I hear that I can't, but I don't know if it's saying energy.
Right, I did hear I can't that second time, but I couldn't make out anything else.
So this next one it's very quick, but it's very pronounced. You could hear everything. You should have no issues hearing it. I feel like they said that this is like a residual type thing where it could be heard in numerous facilities, actually, not just one. So check this one out.
That you heard in any facility anytime. Hold it. Let me play. I know
I heard it twice last night.
That was Lower F Block, Clinton, Maine. Let's see. That was, 2 Company, 29 Cell.
You need to hear it again.
Down to the cell, he heard it.
You got me on that one. That was good. I hope you're proud. Hold it, Joe. Was that Tom's idea? I expected more from you.
So this one's from the Wyoming Frontier Prison. This one is a group had said to the entity or whatever, goodbye, respectfully, and the spirit communicates back with them. So that's what this one's about.
Goodbye. Thank you for letting us come here and talk to you.
Did you hear that? It said bye at the end.
Now, are these videos that you're watching and getting this from that you can see what's going on?
I got them from YouTube. But no, I have these. I separated the sound.
And these are very credible individuals doing this.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've seen, I wasn't gonna just pick up anything.
But I mean, because you're into this, so I mean, you're clearly researching, and you guys are on top of your game. You're doing great. So, but I don't discount any of this. There's too much out there we just don't understand.
I have one last one, actually. One last clip. To me, this one was the most horrifying one. I did extensive research on this one, and I had to listen to this one and watch it a bunch of times just to make sure that I got the right thing here. So Tom, check this one out too, man. You might think that this one's pretty interesting. See if you've heard anything like this in any kind of facility that you've worked in.
He got us twice.
Okay, that is the bathhouse, Clinton, Maine. Low APPU unit, which is where Tupac and Joel Steinberg and all them were. Joey Fama. Right. So that was them in the bathhouse. Right. I get that was that.
That was definitely
low rate block. The bathhouse.
Wow.
That was the Arthur Kill gym bathroom. I think I heard it there once too.
Hey,
do you need me to play that one again? Because
he doesn't need you to play it. He wants you to play it.
I'm good. But There's one thing I want to tell your folks out there if they pick up my book. There's a chapter called "What Are the Odds?" Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you recall reading it, but it's the day I got home one day, and I was being watch commander at Clinton and performing. I probably just rolled in after being on the road for a couple of days, and I got my mail. There was a letter in my mailbox that had been sent to a P.O. box I hadn't used in years. Mm-hmm. And the post office recognized my name, so they forwarded it to my home address. So the envelope, it says mailed from a Kansas State Correctional Facility or something like that effect. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I didn't let it in my house. I went around my backyard. I go, this ain't going in my house. I went and got gloves and a very sharp knife, very gingerly open it up, pull it out, no powder, we're good.
Right.
Take the knife, open it. It's a letter from an inmate in Kansas writing to hypnotist Michael Blaine because this individual's sister had researched and deemed me to be a very credible hypnotist. And he was trying to hire me because he was in jail for killing his wife, but he wasn't guilty.
They never are.
No.
And there were individuals that had information that could get him released. So he wanted to retain me, have me in waiting. Now remember, I'm the watch commander at Clinton, the biggest joint in New York State. And I'm like, this guy has no clue who he wrote to. So I'm reading this. He wants to retain me, have me in waiting. He's going to arrange to have these people kidnapped and brought to me where I'm waiting, but it's all legal, of course. I'm going to hypnotize and get the information. I'm like, oh my God, I don't need this. But now I have to report this. You know your life sucks. You have no luck at all when you write to the one hypnotist that works on a joint. So that is one of the funniest things. My superintendent could not believe. He goes, Mike, did this really happen? I go, yes. He goes, oh my God. I go, yeah, what are the odds? What are the odds? And he thought, it's like if there's a superintendent's Facebook page of, weird stuff for the day, he got the prize that day. So there's a lot of stuff like that. It's unusual. So, but, buy the book. And I plan on September. Hopefully the world's back. I have to be up in New York in September for an event. So I'm planning on doing a nice big loop. Hopefully I'd like to hit all the hubs. If guys have bought the book, I'll have books with me if you want me to sign it. I hope you liked the autograph page in the book.
Yes. Yeah.
The old buck slip. Got a couple pads of those left and write the final edits. I go, I got to do something different. And I scanned it, sent it to the publisher. I said, got to have this in there. Okay. No big deal.
That's awesome.
Not a problem. So that was an actual form I used. So that makes it great.
So Mike, give us, before we punch out here, give us one more time. If someone wants to get a hold of you or buy the book, give us all, and your YouTube channel, give us all the information again.
Yeah. Website is simply michaelblaine.com. The publisher history books. There's links on my website to different book outlets, Amazon, history books by the publisher if you want. They've done good by me, so let's do good by them. And
sure.
If you're in the New York State system, anybody wants to reach out to me, the email is wallsofdannemora@gmail.com. You can contact me through my website, michaelblaine.com. YouTube channel is Michael Blaine. Instagram is Walls of Dannemora. And, I hope to see everybody, and have some fun. It gives you a little look of, some of the fun stuff, but some, how also it should give people an idea of how nasty the state of New York can be towards its staff.
Well, you know what? And I know we're punching out here, but that is a good point you made. I was looking at some of the reviews that your book got online, and overwhelmingly 5-star reviews. There were a couple reviews that people were mad just because it had the word Dannemora in the title. They thought it was all about the escape.
Yeah, and
yeah, don't get it confused. This is a book about the fuckery that a man witnessed in his career in 3 different titles in this department.
Yeah,
and take it for that. Don't take it for just another glory hole.
You take the boy out of the city.
Yeah. All right, and that's the edit cut there. Don't take it as
but
don't take it as glorifying the escape.
Yeah.
Take it as a life in corrections.
In the book, I'm very critical of the poor attempts to recreate it for stage and screen. I'm very upset with it. I was called to play my old job, and I was actually brought in for a scene that never happened. It never happened. And they didn't use me for the scene, which was kind of funny. It's like, that's my old job. The scene, which is okay. I still got to watch the scene be created. It was very incredible. It's amazing to see watch professionals, the vision they use to change a scene from what they originally wanted to what they want, the lighting and what have you, and get it on film. Absolutely incredible. True, watch art being created. It's incredible. But that series is not accurate. The only thing accurate in that whole abortion is the North Yard. That is the true North Yard with all the courts, the wall, and, overlooking the Champlain Valley, and that scene, you can actually see 12 posts where I fired a warning shot, June 20th of '98.
Nice.
And if you go on my Instagram, you can see my date book, the UI number, the rifle number.
Yes, I did see that. That was pretty cool.
Yep, that's all there. That's a typical officer does a job, and everybody supposed to put where they worked and incidents and information, because you got to have that for your reports, and or go to testify to grand jury or lawsuit. So,
thanks for being here.
I can't thank you enough. This is fun.
Thank you for listening to the Ghost Hacks Podcast. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and find us on Facebook groups. If you have any paranormal experiences you would like to share, please email joeghosthackspodcast@gmail.com, and we may even read your submission on the air. Have a good night, and don't forget to change your shorts.